you forget how real this gets. It could get real, my dude. It could get super real, super real. Not just you as the suspect, but for the victims, innocent people could get killed. People that have nothing to do with your problem.
Ain't got a moment when they see you down, just know they love it. Hey everybody, welcome to the Bounce Back Podcast. Today we're gonna do something a little different. I got my guy with me, my guy Akilles. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell the people a little bit about your current situation.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Akilles. You know, for brothers behind bars, they know me as a Lost King. I'm a 5%er. That's my honorable name. You know, for other brothers that don't know, they know me as AK. So I just go by all that just based on, you know, the crowd we speaking to. But, you know, my current situation right now, you know, this 7 years after my sentence, I ended up getting deported, you know, to Brazil, which I'm at now. You feel me? And I just been here the last, I'll say 2 years now. I've been 2 years solid, going strong, just, you know, trying to do this music thing, trying to make this work. You know, just a little bit for now.
So tell me a little bit about like the process after you did your time to getting sent to Brazil. Is this something that you knew your whole bid? Is it something they hit you last minute with? Talk a little bit about that.
I will definitely won't say I knew, you know, because you did time, right? You did time.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So you know, there's that old thing what they used to tell me in pre-trial. Hope for the best, expect the worst. Right? They used to tell me that all the time. Like so I had hope just based on my history. Like I got all my roots is in the US. All my roots, you know what I'm saying? So that to me was gonna play a big part, my education, my schooling, you understand? So I had a lot of people on my side. When I did get the news, when I did start my immigration trial, process, I didn't go to trial in immigration, but once I just seen the reality of what was going on in immigration, like for example, I seen a guy over there. This dude was from he was from Haiti. Dude did 4 years in the state. He did 4 years, but he was locked up 7. Right. And I'm like, damn, 7 years you've been down? He's like, yeah, I've been 3 years in immigration. And me, I'm looking at his situation, right? Brother came over here months old. I came over. I went to the U.S. when I was like 5, but he came earlier than me. He was older than me, had kids, and they're still deporting his ass. I'm like, what makes me special? You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm looking down on it has nothing to do with how I feel about myself, but the system's the system. You know that. They don't care about color, height, none of that. It really don't. It really doesn't. At least not in this situation, you know. So I had got the lawyer. I had figured out, you know, just, you know, percentages of me staying. And I just figured that the best decision for me was not to fight my case just based on my crime. But my crime was a violent crime, which, you know, was over. Unless you fall under the guidelines, you know, I had studied immigration law so much. Like, for example, exile, political refugee. I'm Brazilian, so we don't really have cartels. We have something we call a facção over here, which is a nation, like big organizations, which is definitely not cartel-like, though. So even me trying to lie my way out of that, I wouldn't have been able to fall under that criteria. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I just, you know, I'm big on the universe, man. I just trust the process. I've always trusted the process, and this was no different. And here we are today, you know.
So how long was it before you wrapped up your bid that you kind of realized like this is what's going down when I get out? Like I'm gonna have to get sent back to Brazil.
Man,
like, did you have like a year left?
Yeah, honestly, it was that last year where I was on the line because they had interviewed me years before immigration, but they never had put a hold on me.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And
Gotcha.
it was around the time where I was prepping for parole. You know, you prep for parole a few months before you actually go.
Gotcha.
That the lady had mentioned, she was like, yo, you know, we have to submit you as a reentry, a person that's going to reenter society. And when we did that, the system flagged you and they put a hold on you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the situation. I don't know how sure that is that they're gonna follow through. I've seen a lot of times the guys walk right through the door. You know, because it has you probably have heard of that before, especially with the Cape Verdean community. You know what I'm saying? Where
I
so
had my boy I did an interview with him. He was in Cape Verde for like 8 years before he finally got his way back. And very similar, he didn't really even he came over here young. He didn't have too many people over there. It's pretty much he was stranded and was like forced to figure it out, you know. And it was all in the middle of COVID, which didn't help his
that's
process.
even worse. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it didn't help his process at all. So
God
but
damn.
luckily he made it back. So that's why I wanted to get this perspective, man. And so just for the people that don't know, and for me too. So you grew up out here, Massachusetts. Where about? You from Boston? Where, I'm sorry, say it again.
River.
Fall River. Okay. Fall River. So there's a I got you.
When I first got to
Bristol County.
Bristol County. When I first got to Mass, I lived in Brockton for about 2 years, but I was real young. I don't consider that where I was raised because, you know,
Got you. So
I
you
didn't
went to
grow into
school.
my Yeah.
I
I went to school till I was about in my junior year. I got expelled, and then for selling drugs, and then I went back to. So I did a little program to get my diploma. So
okay, what was it like growing up in Fall River around that time?
Yo, that's actually something that was brought to my mind when you was talking about your Cape Verdean mans. Yo, I never had a normal life, bro. I never had a normal life. I didn't even have a normal bid. Like in my bit, like after I was like around 23, I had like a internal experience, man. It's really hard for me to explain, man. But you know, it was one of them things that really changed my perspective in life. I started just thinking different. Started staying out of trouble, just doing the right thing. And doing the right thing in prison, you get your points knocked out, you go down security, you go down to a minimum, and you go to a pre-release, you're on the street. Right. I didn't even get to pick the fruits of that because of this whole immigration shit. Right. So my good behavior never had the response. Like in society, my first official ID, government ID, I was 27 years old, bro.
Wow.
I've never had I could never go into a store, at the time, you're a knucklehead, like go into the store, get a Dutch, you're like, yo, ID. I could never, it was always, everything was like always a
What was the
ID.
issue? Was it the citizenship? Because
it was
you came
the citizenship. Over? It was the citizenship, man. It was the fucking citizenship. And it's always like that.
What kind of barriers did you encounter, like trying to even get an ID, so to speak, or
Hold
anything?
on, one second, please. Yep. My dogs is acting over there. My fault, brother.
Nah, you all good.
My dogs, man. My dogs. I got 2 dogs.
Okay, yeah. Nah, no doubt. You got to handle business. Bro.
Yeah, sometimes you got to see what they're doing because they're knuckleheads. But
yeah. So what kind of barriers did you experience, like just not having citizenship?
Oh man, college. Yo, I'll say this. I'll say this to you right now. And obviously, it's a cheap substitute. What I'm about to explain to you, so it's really my fault because you can always find a way if we make a decision, right? But I had told you I had got expelled from high school. I never even told my mom because I was 17. They gray areaed me, so they don't even warn your parents. Okay. And then the next school year came around. I told her. She found out. Obviously, she was upset. I had finished the program because I was on probation for that the judge sent me to, which was like it's like a high school for knuckleheads. I forget what they call that. Right.
Like an alternative school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they had me on the alternative school, and obviously I was about to graduate. You graduate a lot faster in that school.
Right. And so you said you was on probation at this point. Was it adult probation, juvenile? So I know
It was for
17 is right on
distribution.
that line. But I'm
I
saying, was
had,
it juvenile court or adult courts?
it was already adult court because when
Adult. Okay.
I had just turned 17 when I caught that distribution case in
And
my
this was
high
out of
school.
Fall River.
Yeah, yep, exactly. And so when I went back to y'all, so like I said, like this is a major a personal decision that I made. And she's like, okay, so you know you're about to graduate, like you're thinking about going to college. I say, yeah, of course. So she's like, yo, here's the form. You're gonna apply. This is for financial aid. You're gonna go to college for free. I'm gonna make sure that you get some money for you to go to college. And this is my the counselor. This is my guidance counselor. Right. You know, the shit that they give us for us in school. So peace. We went through with that, bro. I'm going through the form. She's helping me out, and she's like, yo, it got to the social security number part. I said, yo, what am I going to do about this? She's like, oh, you don't know. I said, me, because you know, I'm American. I just don't have to. I was so embarrassed. I was like, yo, I forgot the numbers. I'm going to go home. I'm going to fill the rest of this out with my mom. I'll bring it back. I never came back.
Right.
I never came back. So at the time, I was still selling drugs. I never stopped. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be full time for me, man. I'm not going to be sitting around because I had tried the whole construction thing. I was that guy who was too good for construction. In some ways, it still don't fit me. I'm still not going to do that. I'm not going to settle for that. I know what I want. I got my means to get to where I need to go. But and I'm not knocking anybody who's working construction. We need workers. We need all that stuff. That's something that's essential.
Society needs builders for sure.
Exactly. So I respect all of them. Man. It's not that their work is any better or less than what I'm doing. It's just not for me. It's for you. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing to do with me. And I just took selling drugs full time, and with that came all the problems. Literally, within 2 years, my life just went down. It got me to getting 10 years on my first fucking.
Right. So what happened? So now I'm assuming you're on probation. So you have the open probation. Did you end up finishing that probation?
It wasn't open. It wasn't open. I actually got through the probation.
Sentence? Oh, okay. Copy
that. I got through the end of that probation. They gave me, when they finally got me on file, when they closed the case, they had given me 3 months like house arrest, 6 months on a bracelet, but all that was counted towards my probation time. You understand what I'm saying? It was counted for the 18 months that they gave me on probation. Had I messed up, they most likely would have had gave me time, like a 6 months. It was
nonetheless,
weed, it was marijuana.
It's still that was my first adult case, was a weed distribution too. So you finished that. But it's still a guilty, right? It's still like a conviction.
It's definitely a guilty. It's definitely a guilty.
Because they line you up.
They brought that up. You guys it looks like you're a weed dealer who obviously became a serious criminal. Like, no, that's not the case at all. But that's what you want to say. You really want to say. You don't even fucking know me. That's what you really want to say. You guys are sitting here. Picture. You don't even fucking you haven't even talked to me. You haven't even spoke to me. It's like I don't exist. You're present. But it's like you're invisible in there. They're just talking amongst each other, and you're just there.
Your body is there.
That's one of the first times I've ever fucking felt stupid. And I'm not stupid at all. I'm not a fucking idiot at all. You understand what I'm saying? I could say that about myself. I don't give a shit. That was the first time I've ever felt stupid in my life. I said, yo, what's going on? Why even exist? I don't know. What language are these people speaking, bro?
Right. And they intentionally make it a difficult language to even understand the most simplest of things.
Absolutely. In county, that was one of the main sources of inspiration to understand my case, especially what had to do with I didn't study every law. I studied laws that had to do with especially possession laws, Article 14, the Fourth Amendment. I fucking
all of that. Okay.
I went in on that. And because I wasn't gonna beat the possession.
Right.
I was gonna beat the attempt to murder, in that particular scenario in my case.
Yeah, what happens? You were talking about county, so I take it you're waiting trial in Bristol County for what you end up getting indicted.
I obviously got indicted for that, and then I went through the process. But I think before I even get to me being in county and stuff like that, like I just want to mention like the rule thing. I feel like what even got me to that situation that I got myself into was that as you're growing up in whatever community, especially if it's like a suburban, urban one, like
Right.
Fall River, which is not it's just drugs and gangs and bullshit. You know, you want you want recognition, you want to be that guy. In a sense, you do odd things, whether you're getting money, whether you're bagging girls, whether you're
Yeah.
you're doing something to be known for.
And
And
that status comes with it that you tend to thrive off, and it's addicting too.
right,
That status, that people needing to hit. It is.
yeah, like you got this for me, you got that for me, I'll be right by. Like you're making money in the process, so you feel
Hmm.
busy, like you're important, like you feel like you're somebody. I think that
Right.
feeling, I misinterpreted that feeling for what respect actually was. You know what I'm saying? For what love actually, because it's fake. It's all fake. All of
Right.
it. It's all fake. Like I should have
Hmm.
been focused on music, but I felt like I needed to sell the drugs. I needed to
Right.
do the gun thing and all that bullshit involved in that life for me to
Hmm.
even get taken serious. And that's
Right.
not the case
I
at
see what you're
all,
saying.
man. You know what I'm saying? That's
Hmm.
not the case at all. So obviously, we're young. We don't know the magnitude of the consequences that you could pay until you're actually in the reality of that consequence and you're looking around. And even though your situation is pretty messed up, you're looking around like maybe mine ain't that bad, bro.
Right. It puts it in perspective for sure.
Yeah, not that you should feel any more or less guilty for what you did. I take full accountability for my actions. This is on record. I'm saying that now.
Right.
Like I'm not proud of what I did. I'm not the same man that I was. You know what I'm saying? Content wise in my music, do I speak on things that, yeah, I get to. That's part of my
Yeah.
life. I'm not gonna negate that. At the end of the day, this is entertainment. I'm not
Right.
voting yes or no for anything. I'm just simply taking my life and expressing it through art. How you want to take it is how you want to take it. I don't think that changes who my character is in the present moment.
Right.
You know, if that
Yeah, and we
makes
could
any
tell
sense.
these stories without necessarily it having to be glorified, right? Because we're telling the part where we sat in jail for 7 years, right?
And that's
Where
what these
you're
buses is leaving out.
right. So where are you now? You're in Brazil. You know what I mean? You're fighting to come back and all of that
One
stuff. So this
choice.
is
Look at that. One choice. That's one choice. Look how hard I
that's
made
all
it
it
on my. And
takes.
this is for anybody that's gonna watch this. I don't know who or what child, man, woman is gonna watch this.
Right.
Everything that I have, all the people that I've truly loved, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes just because you blood don't make you family. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
out
right.
there, man. Out there. I was gonna come home to jobs, man. I was gonna come home to various great things that I worked on while I was in prison. And I can't
Yeah.
because of the decision that I made. Granted, would I probably have those opportunities if I didn't go through that prison experience? Nah, I probably wouldn't have.
Right.
But here we are, you know what I'm saying? So I think that
Right.
that's like the buildup. Like I wanted to be the biggest, baddest, everything. And we do stupid, dumb shit. Egos get in the way, and you forget that people can lose their lives in the process, man. And
It gets serious and it can
it
get
gets
real.
serious, and it can get super
Even
real.
when your intentions aren't really for it to get as real as sometimes it gets, you can't control that.
You
You know
can't
what I mean? You
control
just
that,
can
man.
just control if you make that split decision. From there, it's really who knows where
Yup.
it could go. Like you said, prepare for the worst. So if
Prepare
you're
for the
not
worst.
really ready to prepare for the consequences that come with worst case, even if it's just a fight, man, somebody could lose their life. I've seen it.
I've seen it
I'm
too.
sure you've seen it. Like it happens. It happens
It
more than you
happens.
would think. So
It
if you're not
happens.
ready for all that, it's kind of like you need to evaluate what am I even really fighting over. You know what I mean? And a lot of time it goes back to that ego
But
that,
yeah,
that we
ego.
have.
But at the same time, and I'm so grateful because I got a lot of brothers. I got a lot of brothers doing L's that I really love, that I've really soaked up a lot of things from. You know what I'm saying? That
Yep.
they're doing the whole brain development thing. Like
Hmm.
yo, bro. Like there's things that I took serious and I thought was valuable. Like it meant something at 16, 17, 18 years old. And you realize it's really not. That was a thrill. That was a momentary thing. Like, and that's the thing. In the moment, it's so real. In the moment, you don't think that you're not gonna see tomorrow. Like you really think that you are gonna see tomorrow every day, and you're not. And like you think that
Hmm.
this is what's gonna be, and it's not, man. Your life could change. My life changed in 30 seconds.
That's
30
it. That's all
seconds,
it
bro.
takes.
30
So you
seconds.
end up doing time. So walk me through that day a little bit about you getting locked up, man? What happened? How did you end up? What were they alleging?
Oh, so that situation, it was it was a Halloween. I had gone to a party with some friends, and parties, alcohol, drugs mixed, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And even one of my friends at the time, when we did speak on the situation, he was like, yo, man, that day, man, you were just oh, 1 second, please. Yeah, so even he has said to me that day, he was like, yo, man, you just something different about you that day, man, and people
Mm-hmm.
always have their stories, tragedies and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. I'm just and one thing led to another, man, and I got punched in my face, bro.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I couldn't accept that. That's just where I was at in life. And it was just the wrong. I'm just blessed that in that particular individual, rest in peace, is dead today. But he
Okay.
at the time, how I was feel like the whole ego thing that we developed, we're in the life, we're getting money, we got guns, we girls and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. You just become inflated, and it
Right.
just becomes a thing. Like you punch the wrong guy in the face, but you forget. Like when I
Mm-hmm.
did that drive by, I did that with an assault rifle, with an
Damn.
AR-15. You understand what I'm saying? So you forget how real this shit gets. It could get real, my dude. It could get
Yeah.
super real. Not just you as the suspect, but for the victims. Innocent people could get killed. People that have nothing to do with your
Mm-hmm.
problem, bro.
Right.
With your problem. So with me in that moment, it's something that when I reflected on, it was an extremely selfish decision, not just on my behalf, but especially the people that I love, but on the people that were obviously affected by that crime. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't know what could have possibly happened that day.
Right. And that brings
So,
it back to what we were saying. Like it got real for that dude just off of a punch. Like that's what I'm saying. If you're not really willing to take it where it could go, I can
yeah,
say that now, but I
he
don't
called the
know that. You know
police.
what I mean?
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. Like sometimes, man, it's me personally, I don't attach the word humble to myself. Not that because I think that's a negative word, but
Right.
sometimes you have to be aware. Not humble,
Right.
aware of people that you're dealing with, actions that your feelings may incite in you, but you have to be
Yeah.
grown enough to control those feelings. And like you said, look past it, because hey, man, you might punch the wrong guy in the face, and not that he's a mob boss, not that he's a mob
Doesn't
boss.
matter. Yeah.
This guy's on the edge. He's on the
Right.
edge, and he has access
Wife
to.
is cheating on him. Mom died. You don't know
You don't
really.
know, man. You don't know. And I feel like in that part of my life, I was on the edge, wilding for respect.
Right.
Wilding. I was
Yeah.
on the, I already felt it. I already knew. I
Right.
already knew. And at the same time, I was still wilding for respect. It was like nothing was enough. Nothing's ever
Mm-hmm.
enough. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like I seen something on the institutions that was explaining me very well, and I understood it. You know, because we are born in these types of environments, or we grow up in these types of environments, it's rejected by what popular society would consider as a way of living, I guess you could say. So
Mm-hmm.
we create subcultures within the culture. We create sub institutions within the
Right.
institutions, which is gangs and ways of life
Mm-hmm.
and codes. These punk codes it was worthless, right? But
Right.
here's the thing: these institutions, these ways of life, these codes, they don't give back. Like when you live up to, like, it's almost like when you get straight A's in school. Oh, here's a
Mm.
scholarship. You went to college, you got 4.0. Here's a great job.
Right.
It's like, okay, you knock somebody out, they come back with a knife. Now you're into knife. Oh, then you knifed them out. Okay. And then,
Right.
but there's no reward. And I can't go
Right.
to a Mercedes dealership, be like, yo, man, I'm that guy on my block. Let me get that CL 550 right there, and I want
Right.
it fully loaded. That dude's gonna look at you like, yeah, we're calling security. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Who are you, bro? Get
Right.
the fuck out.
We put in situations that are like lose. Like, what do you really win? Even if you're the winner of this argument, what do you win? A trip to wherever, upstate for 7 years. Yeah,
Upstate,
congratulations, you won,
life,
right? Not that
life.
no disrespect, but that's just what it is, though. You know what I mean? What's really the prize? So you got to really look at that. So
Yeah, you
did you?
gotta zone in. You gotta really zone in on that. And here's the thing, and I don't blame any of the youth, any youth that may be hearing the show, that's gonna hear the show. I don't blame any of y'all
Not at all.
for
Not at
making the
all.
wrong decision. I don't think that you're any worse of a person than a fucking serial killer. You're not.
I mean,
They're gonna
especially
make
at
it
those young
seem.
ages.
Of course, they're gonna make it seem
You
that, and
know.
when you're in court, because we all make mistakes. When you're in court, when you're on the news, when they take that mug shot and you look like a clown, right? Because you had a long night. They make sure you have a
Yep.
long night before you take that picture of you, right?
I
Let me
I
tell
went
you
in front of the
something.
judge like you, bro, right now because I had no shirt. They didn't have a shirt. I went into it in front of the judge last time
There you
shirtless.
go. That's humiliating. That's
You
humiliating.
know what I'm
I'm just
saying? Even
let me
Aaron
just say
Hernandez
this.
got a shirt, bro. Aaron Hernandez got to go home and get a shirt.
That's what I'm saying to you. So it's like, let me tell you something. Don't be ashamed of that. Don't ever be ashamed of that. You're not that person. You're gonna and motherfuckers who think they ain't gonna get through it. Let me tell you something. You're gonna get through it, and you gotta want it. You gotta want better. Because I know a lot of grown ass super thug gangsters that are 40-year-old men, but they got 16-year-old mentalities. All right,
Yeah.
there's nothing cool
Yep.
about this shit. There's nothing thugged about this shit. Nothing. It really
Not at
ain't.
all. Not at
And
all.
any real
It's
motherfucker
just
is gonna tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Any
not.
real motherfucker is gonna tell you that. You know what I
How
mean?
prevalent was like lockup and everything? Like growing up, did you have family members that been to jail, prison, any of that? Parents?
My father did a stint, but you know, I didn't grow up with my father.
Okay.
My father did jail in Brazil, I think.
Oh, okay.
My
Yeah.
uncle, all of them.
It
They're
wasn't
all in
something
these.
that was normalized within the household, though. I guess growing up, right? It was it something more you saw once you start hitting
Yo.
the streets.
I'll say this, because I'm not a phony, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to sell drugs. I just wanted
Right.
sneakers. But
Right.
I got a single mom. She can't buy me sneakers every week. She can buy me
Mm-hmm.
sneakers once a year.
Right.
But I have food in my fridge.
Right.
My mom had the lights on as much as she could. She had the gas in the winter. I
Yeah.
could have humbled myself down, right, and got a job.
Right.
Yeah,
Could have
immigrant
got the
job,
same
probably
thing.
working a restaurant or doing some construction, breaking my back. But hey, I'm out of jail.
But a lot of people do make that choice, and they do that. You know what I mean?
That's my point.
Choose that.
That's my point. So me, I'm not what you call the regular immigrant because I grew up Americanized. So I looked at myself as an American. I'm too good for this immigrant shit.
Right.
That's how I looked at
I
myself.
feel you.
But I was the clown the whole time. I was the one getting laughed at. Because I have to go through
Right.
this whole process to realize, like, yo,
It's
there
like
was
a
other
humiliation ritual. The whole prison
facts.
system on all that. Like you
Of
said,
course.
the strip, you know, you as soon as you get there, what do you gotta do?
Strip,
Strip
strip
naked.
in front of other dudes, man. Like, that's what you
It's
want?
a
That's what
right
you want?
humiliation ritual.
That's what you want?
Yo, yeah,
That's what
exactly.
you want? You got another grown ass men, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Checking booty
Squat,
holes and shit. Yeah.
squat, cough, lift your scrotum. Lift my
Mm-hmm.
scrotum. What the fuck is wrong with you?
And
You
they
know what I'm saying?
disguise it as safety for the institution and all this
It's
stuff.
not.
It's just part of the
It's not, and
humiliation
most of
ritual.
them dudes is homosexual anyway. Them COs in there. After a while, a lot of them
Mm,
dudes. I personally, and this is for people watching, like thinking this prison shit is cool, the street shit is cool. Like, let me tell you something. Some dudes in there, they stay in there a while, and they end up liking what they see.
right.
Not that they came in liking what they see. After a while, they got so used to it, they started finding ways to like it. You have to understand, a CO is doing time too. That nigga, he just gets to go home at the end of the day. He's still suffering from the same psychological energy, brainwave frequencies that
Yep.
any prison attendee, I would say, right? Because I don't call them inmates, right?
Yeah. Gotcha.
Is going through. They suffer from the same thing. Not that I'm sitting there validating some of the cruelties that they do to us, because some of the motherfuckers is foul. And that's what I'm saying. Them dudes, they do things to people in there to humiliate you. A lot of them are homosexual, and they overdo. Not that it's happened to me. I'm not saying this. I'm saying for people that are gonna go through, you're gonna hear about it. You're
Yeah.
gonna
Oh yeah.
hear about it. It might be a man that goes through it. It might be you. It might be
Hmm.
you.
I've seen it when I was in a minimum. In Bill Ricker, we came back from the work crew, right? And that's every day. As soon as you come back, you're stripping and stuff like that. This one dude, man, I guess his shit was sheening or something like that. But they motherfucker made him stay there, bent over with his shit, like so the other see, hey, whatever, Johnson, come here, come look at this boy got KY jelly drip, like humiliating him, making him stay, all that shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I was lined up next to him, not that I was looking, but it was just like a whole, it's the whole humiliation process
Right.
of it.
And then you take a guy like that, right? You don't know how confident that guy is.
Right.
You don't. He might take that to the brain. He has a release date. You're already in the minimum. He goes home. He has all that stored in him, and then he kills that fucking CO. And
Right.
he's the bad guy.
And it happens. It happens. So talk to me about you eventually get sentenced. What was that like? Is that something? Did you take the trial?
I went all the way to trial, but I ended up copping out during trial.
Okay. So talk to me about that. What were why did you end up copping out? Was it your plan the whole time to drag it out as long like that was when
Nah,
I got
man,
my
nah.
same bit. I was like, I'm gonna drag this and then I'm gonna cop out at trial. Pretty
Nah, man, they had me, man. They had me. They
bad, yeah.
wasn't giving me no deals. And
Mm,
just based on what I studied, I said, listen, in my situation, they illegally went into my house. No warrant, nothing. They just invaded it. They had no, you talk about exigent circumstances, but there was no ID in my case. No one proved that I shot anything, anybody. There's nothing. They went,
right.
they got my last known address and they raided the house.
That's it.
But they got me dead to rights on the gun. So I figured, listen, if they want to play this shit dirty, okay, I'll take my chances at trial. I'm going to lose the possession, but they can't prove the attempt of murder. And that's what's giving me all the time. So in this process, there was some evidence. I'm telling you why I made this decision. I'm giving you context on the decision I made. Why I didn't ask for no deals or anything. So in this process, I'm dealing with a lawyer. His name is James Hanley. You just got exposed, right? He's out of Rhode Island. But, you know, Bristol County, Rhode Island is right next to each other, so he practiced in Mass too.
Got you.
And, you know, decent guy. I'm not saying that shitty practitioner. Decent person, shitty practitioner, right?
Right.
So for 6 months, I'm studying my case. So for 6 months, I'm telling you, I say, yo, they still haven't presented this evidence. This is the way we're going to beat this part of the case. I'll take the possession, man. I'll lose the possession, man. I'll lose that. I know I'm going to lose that because they're not giving us no motions. They're knocking all our motions down. You know, this is a public defender. You know, you don't give a shit at the end of the day. I'm helping him do his job. Sometimes they don't even know your first name. They got so many cases. Right. So I'm in that situation, bro. The day of trial, I found out, right, that this is the evidence that was gonna get me through, because even though they had gun casings from the assault rifle at the scene, I had something called a ghost gun, and they don't have the hammer. Every gun has a fingerprint when it's a registered gun, and they're able to trace. They know what gun shot what bullet. It's a technology that they have. Every gun needs to go through a registry. When they do that, they shoot a gun one time and they hold that DNA from that hammer of that specific.
So is that what they call the ballistics and all that?
Exactly. So this is information I obtained obviously during the process. This is how real these people get.
Right.
So the whole time they didn't, because they must have had a hard time identifying the gun. They're like, yo, this gun's not registered. I was even in the case, I had to like shave multiple spots in the gun to see if there was numbers, serial numbers. So what had happened, they had to pay outside of court a ballistics agent to do the tracing, but he never presented me that evidence. When I was going through the evidence presentation on the day, that's when I found out, look at this, though. I said, yo, they had this the whole time. They're like, what do you mean? You didn't know? I said, what do you mean they didn't know? You didn't know? What do you mean that? I've been sending you letters. You've been paying Viz last 6 months preparing for this trial, and I've been telling you about the specific fucking thing. And when I look at the date, coincidentally, they processed the test the day that around the time that I was sending him the letters. So it's
this is the lawyer. The lawyer holding that information from you, or the
from me.
DA?
Because I would have listen if I knew, and this is for everything that's witnessed the situation. Had I knew that they had that, I would have asked for a deal. I probably would have got less time. Whatever.
And this is your lawyer who's withholding this evidence, who's supposed to be your team on your side.
So I had
And they're
asked
not
him.
giving.
He's like, "What do you mean you didn't know?" I said, "Yo, I've been asking you for months. Is what you have, what he has, what I have? Do we all have the same packet of evidence?
Discovery, right? Is it?
Do we all have the same discovery packet? Yes, it's by law. You have. Okay, then why doesn't mine have that information, bro? And I've been telling you that for months. Listen, what's the set is that the cast is closed already. I did my bit.
Yeah.
But I say this because people that are listening, they think sometimes like shit is sweet. There's dudes, let me tell you something. There's dudes, and it's unfortunate to say, right, how fucked up the system is, that they hang on to these bare minimums of evidence in their case. They're like, oh, well, the murderer was wearing a blue hoodie and I was found in a red hoodie. They don't care.
And they live and die on that instead of
they
looking
live on
at
that. Listen,
else.
brother, take that deal, my nigga. Take that deal, because you're probably going to spend 20 years for them to consider that hoodie that you lived and died by, bro. And I seen it. And you know the pill drop comes after about a decade. You know it. You went through it. You see it. You see a young bro. He came in. He's fresh. 3 years. He probably waited 4 or 5 years to do his murder case. But that big pill, he starts swallowing around that 9th, 10th, 11th, 5th. He starts realizing like, yo, I'm probably never gonna fucking go home. Man.
I can only imagine.
You see it. You see it in their eyes.
They get smaller and smaller too. When when you first go upstate, you're like, wow, it's so big here.
Yes, no.
Ain't much long where it's like smaller and smaller, and then it's just another cage. It's just a bigger cage. You know what I mean? Cages within the cages.
Cages within the cages. That's right, man. Layers.
And that's what it is. So you take your so what was the sentence that you got? You did 7. Was that the sentence? A straight 7, 7 to 9? You
I got
parole or something.
I got 10 years. Okay. And I knocked time off my bid. So I actually had an 8.5 to 10.
So how old were you when you caught this 10 years?
I just turned 20.
So that's half of the life that you've been alive, right? If you think about it. And then let's not even count before you're 4, because you don't really remember. So now you just got this amount of time, which is pretty much most of your life that you've already lived that you could remember, right? You could probably only remember 15 years prior. You don't really remember too much before that. That's a lot of time. I mean, it's easy to sit here being out and look back.
Because you did it. You did the time. So, but in all aspects of time, especially for human time, that's a lot of time, man. People done got engaged and married, had kids. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Right.
Old buddies from high school, like, you know what
little
I'm saying?
Kids grow up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You see these people, it's like, damn, man. That's what 7 years did. Imagine 2 decades of this shit.
Right. Man. That's a lot, bro. That's a lot for sure. So, all right, when you get sent, tell me a little bit about Bristol County, though, man. What's the politics there? How's everything work there, man? When you're waiting trial
at the time, man.
A lot of fights. I heard it was pretty thorough over there.
Yeah, I mean the county. I was never gang banging or nothing like that. A lot of the knuckleheads is gang bang. I was like, I'm Brazilian, so I have my little crew, and as far as street shit, like I dealt with my problems as they came. I was never the type of guy who like
had too many issues.
Shit. Yeah, that's never been my style. I just, I'm not gonna sit around either if you're trying to bully me or some shit. That's not. I'm not a bitch either. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So but at the end of the day, whether in Bristol County or Worcester, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's much of a difference. It's if you're looking for it. So if you're looking for it, being like, yo, you're a Crip, guess what? If there's a blood here, he might have an issue with you. You signed up for this.
Right.
Don't so the problems, it's really you. In jail, and you know this, Luke, man. You looking for it, you're gonna find it. Yep. Whether it's problems,
a lot of
drugs.
It's the same people always in the issues. It's the same people. Like, you know what I mean? Always
when you gonna learn.
Mouth, whatever it may be, at least as far as. So what happened? So you mentioned Worcester County too. You was out there for a little bit.
Nah, I never been to Worcester. I was just saying
Oh, okay.
Worcester,
Just
regardless,
as
it's the
an example,
same.
wherever. Okay, got you.
Yeah. So I mean, Bristol County, as far as like the justice system goes, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah,
You
because
don't you don't you don't want to
they
go
were
to trial
having
in
it.
Bristol County.
They were having issues with the dude that ran that jail and everything too. Wasn't he catching a lot of?
Oh
He
my
was trying to
God.
charge people.
You're
Can you
talking you're
talk
talking about
about that a little
Hodgson.
bit?
You talking about Sheriff
Yeah,
Hodgson? Gosh.
always on the news for some bullshit.
Yeah, he's a clown. Listen, anybody from Bristol County is gonna watch this. You know this, bro.
Straight
I
up.
don't I don't like touching in politics. That's not my style.
Yeah, I got you.
But he's a clown, bro. It's the same dude that was trying to take dudes from Bristol County, send them to New Mexico and Texas and shit
Right.
to build a fence. Dude, you're treating people like they're
That's
already
what it was.
convicted.
Yep, exactly. Innocent until proven guilty, but most places it's pretty much the opposite. You get less freedoms when you're waiting trial. You don't get no TV
You
in your
don't.
cell. You don't get, no programs, anything like
No,
that. So
no.
it's pretty backwards, bro.
They want you to cop out because they say so. They start to speculate. Well, upstate at least there's TVs, so I don't want to
You
sit
get that
here
in
for
your
too
head.
long.
Yep.
And you forget you might
Paralysis by over analysis. You overanalyze
be
things. You make things out to be
exactly,
worse in your head.
and
Then
you
it's just like, let's
forget
just get it over with.
that these people they live and die by that decision that you make. Because if everyone went to trial, we'd have a lot more cases overturned. Because some guys got great cases, they just got a lot of fear in their heart. You understand what I'm saying? And that's their problem. And these people will be spending money. They're gonna take everybody serious. If everybody went to trial and exercised their rights, no matter what it is that you did, these people will be playing by the law because they know they got to spend money to prove that you're guilty. But what they do, they rather use fear tactics, complicated language, living
Yep.
conditions. That's what they do. That's what they do. If you don't think
Amount.
that's not,
Yep.
yeah,
Trump up the
you're in for it.
charges.
They're gonna
You
trump
know.
it all. They're gonna trump it all. They're gonna mistreat you. They're gonna feed you shit, right? There was our juice that there was a skull and bones on our juice that says not for human consumption. They're gonna put that in your water for you to drink. They're gonna call it Kool-Aid.
Facts.
You keep drinking that
Not for
shit.
human
You want kids? You're not a dad yet. Don't drink that shit. Don't drink that.
Stick to the water. Even that you can't predict, bro. So when you got sentenced, you went up to where? Where was classification at that time?
Bro, so I went to Walpole, and when I had got there, I had 11 points. And then they was going to ship me to Concord. And I knew this dude, his name was Rampage. He's from New York. But he had already caught a bid. And he's like, yo, bro, you a smart dude, man. You always hitting them books. I think you should go to Norfolk. I said, why Norfolk? He's like, yo, they got a college over there. They have Boston University over there. I said, what? Because I'm excited to be upstate. You know, when you're down in county all the time, like you're just excited to be somewhere else, like where you're gonna have, you're gonna be able to do your bit in peace. Like you know your situation, everything is settled. You know your destination. This is what you're gonna do. This is what's gonna happen for the next couple of years. So you get this peace. I know it's sad to say,
right?
But there's a peace in that. There's like and it's sad. So when I got there, I had he had helped me write this letter to classification, and obviously my stay in Walpole was a little bit longer because they had to redo my whole thing, but I was able to get into Norfolk. But I never went to college, but going to Norfolk was the best thing because over there they have a music room.
Oh, okay, that's dope.
And they have an auditorium.
That's fire.
Yeah, that's fire. I say,
I mean, there's not enough of that. You know, not enough programs and ways for people to express themselves, especially you being the musician.
Exactly. For me, it was like, oh shit, this is gonna be my training ground.
So were you dialed in with music the whole time, waiting trial and everything too?
Dialed in. If you were in that era where you spent in Norfolk while I was there doing my music thing, you seen my growth. You seen it. You watched it. You'd be like, yeah, this kid. And if you don't say that, you're a hater, bro.
Right.
You're a hater, bro. You don't have to like my music. That's music is subjective. But when it comes to grind, when it comes to putting in work, when it comes to the consistent result producing artists in there, reaction, right? I was the one. I
Mhm.
don't give a fuck what anybody says. I was the most consistent, the most on top of it, the most work ethic wise. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't spread myself thin. And I think that's what mattered. I think that's what matters
Right.
at the end of the day.
Spreading, you didn't spread yourself thin as far as what, just musically or just in general?
In general.
So it's fair to say that you started dial it in a lot more once you hit Norfolk and found out about the music program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
And did you collaborate with other people there? What was like the process? Was you able to record anything, or was it just writing? What did they have you
Well,
do in this music program? Talk about
we
that.
definitely recorded. They just didn't know about it. The system knew about it. They probably shut that whole shit down. But they gave us write-offs on the. They let us get keyboards. Dudes had guitars. They had like a drum set in the music room. Dudes was like playing drums on the stage on the auditorium. This shit was crazy, bro. It was like a little village. That whole situation, man. I'll say this: my confidence stems from that, because if it wasn't for that music room, if it wasn't for the people that I met, especially in Norfolk, right, that didn't get behind me, that didn't that if they didn't believe me in the level that they believed in me, because I got a lot of bros that really, really showed me love, man, really supported my craft, man, and really gave me opportunities that I'm utilizing today. I impressed the right people, I could say. I got a feature coming out with Millie's, and I was locked up with one of his childhood friends. You know what I'm saying? He's a big fan of me. He's a big fan of me. So this whole situation was already premeditated before I even came home. I already knew I was going to do a song with him. You know what I'm saying? That's just off the strength of my craft. It's not how gangsta I am, how thug I am, how violent I am, how much of it's based on my craft. Brothers will respect something if you're excellent at it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And my live shows, that's my strength. I used to rock that shit all the time, man. Them dudes really appreciated that in me. You know what I'm saying? Because it came from something authentic. It came from something real, something within me that they was able to relate to. And that's the toughest crowd in the world, Luke. You know that. To impress those, they're miserable. They're fucking miserable, bro.
Right.
They are. Even you're miserable some days, but a lot of them are constantly miserable. So they're finding ways to clown you, to humiliate you, to get some wreck on you. They want you to fuck up. So when you make
misery
them
loves
smile,
company.
Exactly. So when you don't give them no reason, they're like, yeah, you know what? There's nothing we can say about this kid. You're him, bro. You know what I'm saying? It gives you a certain level of confidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and that seems like mastery of that craft, and that mastery comes just with repetition and putting the time in. What I always say is like your output is directly correlated with your input, right? You're not gonna have a spectacular output if you just put it in half-ass. You reap what you sow. You know what I mean? You can't just spread seeds everywhere. You got to nurture you got to water it. You got to give it the light it needs. You got to give it the nutrients. You know what I mean? I'm speaking in metaphorically here too. Whatever your craft is, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. You're 100. No, you said it all. You said it all.
You know what I mean? And people think they come into a new year and things are going to be great, but with 2024, I always say, you reaping what you sowed from last year. So we can start putting in the work this year for next year, but realize it's not going to come overnight.
Every gardener got to be patient, though, baby. It ain't the grass ain't green on the other side. It's where you fucking water that shit. It's where you water that shit. And dudes forget about that. Listen, the composition notebooks, they're $2.50. $2.50. But you know what they're worth to me? Not the priceless. I have 11 notebooks filled with music in there that I haven't recorded till this day.
Wow.
I got over
what are you
600
recording now?
songs.
Are you recording new stuff that you're writing?
I don't even write no more. I haven't wrote in the last like 3-4 months, but I got it tatted on. I love writing. I got writer tatted on me on the book and the pen. I love writing. I'll never let that go. It got me through a lot of dark moments. But what I'm saying to you is that going through that experience, because I developed the habit of constantly writing. Like there would be other rappers, other singers out there that come down. They come down with 2 songs. I said, if he comes down with 2 songs, I'm gonna come down with 4. If he happens to come down with 4, I'm gonna come down with 8. Dudes is getting canteen money. You want to fill your bag up with chips and chili beans and meat sticks, nah. I'm spending $200 on beats this week. I don't give a fuck. And I'm gonna write a song to every one of these beats because I think I'm the baddest motherfucker here. That's how I used to think. I'm not saying it with my mouth, though.
Right.
I'm not saying that with my mouth. I'm thinking it and living that through my actions, through my songs. And the songs just kept getting better and better. I'm sure there's brothers that came home. I got two specific that just popped in my mind that want me to record a couple songs I did in there. And I tell them all the time, I say, yo, if the universe ever brings me back to where I feel inspired to actually record those songs, then I'll do it. But that was for y'all, man. That was for y'all. I did that for y'all. That marked the reason you're talking about it is because I was able to be a part of a memory created. I'm not saying I created that memory, but we've had some amazing functions in there, man. Amazing functions, bro. That when you leave, you can't believe you're in prison. You're like, damn, I'm back to prison. But while you're in there, it's like you're not even in prison, bro. For real.
You need those. You need those.
those.
You need something to look forward to. That was really big for me. Is something to look forward to at the end of the day would be like my workout or whatever it may be. Having an outlet, it definitely having something to look forward to and building these relationships with others. It's just, you know, you guys are going through a hard time together, so you build that bond. It's a brotherhood, but not obviously with not everybody, but you gravitate to a certain people, bro. So
that's another thing.
I was gonna ask if you did your whole time there in Norfolk.
Nah, I did. I went around as far as like the whole 7 years. No, I did 2 years in county, and then I did about 6 months in Walpole, and then I spent the rest of my time in Norfolk, and then I went to immigration. So I did a little over 7 years. I did like 7 years in 4 months. 4 months.
Now, was Norfolk where you got into the 5%er?
Yeah, I became a 5%er in Norfolk. Yep.
Can you talk to me a little bit about that? I know a couple people who are into that, but I'm not 100% knowledgeable of. Like, just give me a basic rundown of what that is for somebody who, like me, who may not know 100%.
Well, a lot of people would, you know, especially the system, they'll classify it as like a gang. It's not. Furthest thing we used to be STG. I wasn't in prison. I was actually a baby when brothers like my brother Fu Quan, who fought to get it removed from STG. Any 5%er, I'll say this right now on behalf of my brother, right? Any 5%er who happens to find themselves in jail, he's one of the main sources to think because he was in a lawsuit that got us removed from STG to the point where we couldn't even do ciphers because they think it was a gang meeting, and now they get shut down. Dudes is going to the box because they're trying to do the right thing. I was fortunate enough because, you know, I still have a little bit of anger issues, but I did have an attitude problem. You know what I'm saying? I was fortunate enough to get thrown in Norfolk because if it wasn't for these characters that I met that were already refined people that went through this fire, that see that the bullshit and looked at me and was like, you know what, this kid has potential, I probably wouldn't be the same person that's speaking to you now. Folk being one of the main instruments of that. Because he showed me how I had to follow before I became a leader, and he was one of the greatest leaders that I've met in my life, as far as especially as far as teaching me what and how to do things. You know what I'm saying?
How important was that guidance? Because I feel like a lot of times, especially as young men, we're just looking for guidance. We need someone just to point us in the right direction, and then it's like, you know, like a coach, a football coach, is like point. What do I got to do? And I'm gonna get at him. But a lot of times we pick the wrong people to be guided by.
That's
you can't blame them because most times they're misguided too. It's just
a little earlier. I had mentioned, I was like, yo, that's another thing. What I was gonna say is, yo, your whole prison experience is gonna be based on who you hang out with. All of it. All of it. All of it. I don't care who or how sturdy you think you are.
Right.
I don't give a shit. Who you hanging out with is going to determine the character that you're going to build. If you're not building, you're destroying. You know what I'm saying? And that's the simple thing. And Fu Quan, he's a 5%er. You understand what I'm saying? He wasn't my educator. Sun Si Allah was my educator, but really he showed me what it is. He showed me 360. You understand what I'm saying? Which is just our language. We have our own language. We have our own alphabet.
So what are some of the values What are some of the values that y'all hold true to?
There's a lot of values. I think the core principle is understanding who you are, the essence of a man, especially a black man, brown man, yellow man on the planet, which is God, right? Be in center with that, because everything else comes from that. It obviously, the lessons that we inherit in the process of becoming a 5%er is, I would say in modern days terms, it's called, I would say, cancel culture, for sure.
Yeah,
I would definitely say cancel culture, but you have to be rooted in that as a compass for what decisions that you make in life. It's just like any religion, you would say. Like, people like, oh, it's a religion. It's not. Because when you make it a religion is when you start creating laws around things. You understand what I'm saying? Ways of behavior and not to behave. This is the furthest thing from that. You understand? Like, I think 5% of you're in the business of being a poor righteous teacher, not poor as you're broke, right? Poor righteous teachers as in you're going in amongst poor people in the mind, in the spirit, even physically. You might be a great workout person. You might enrich somebody with some workout knowledge and you change their life forever. That's what being a 5% is all about, is each one teach one according to their own knowledge. And if you got the capacity to teach in that moment, you teach. And if you're a bystander, you know what I'm saying, then obviously you're gonna get punished by a severe punishment. But you know what I mean? You got to just do your job, man. I think being a 5%er changed my life. It changed my perspective. It gave me a lot of eternal friendships. Fook being one of them, Son C being one of them. Al-Amin is Muslim, but he's still a brother to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. It's deep. It really is. It's deep.
Okay, that's what's up. I was trying to get a little bit of an understanding for myself and for the audience out there, man. So right now you are in Brazil, though. So talk to me about, now the day you're supposed to wrap up from Norfolk. You didn't hit a minimum or anything like that, right?
Never. I wasn't able to
because of the status. So walk me through that day, man. You wake up and it's time to wrap up from Norfolk. Like, what's that day like? Do they bring
I
you
was
to
numb.
You was numb?
I was numb. I was honestly, I thought I was gonna walk right through the door because the whole process was normal. They didn't. I wasn't cuffed or nothing. I got recuffed when they was like, "Yo, they're at the door for you." You know what I'm saying? But
was still in the back of your head the whole time, or was you really?
Of course, you never know. You never know. You might be the dude that got through.
Right.
I was hoping to be the dude that got through, but when I woke up that morning, I was numb. I didn't. I felt guilty.
Right. For leaving your people behind.
It's guilty. I felt. Yeah, it was. Because dudes know, so dudes is coming to your door. Dudes that fuck with you come to your door to have a conversation. Dudes that don't fuck with you, the leeches come. What are you gonna leave behind?
Right. Trying to get your bowl or your radio or some stupid
shit. No, that goes. I ended up leaving my whole cell behind.
So what do they do though? Did they take you like to Plymouth, Nashua Street? Like, did you go back to
They took me to Plymouth. They sent me to Burlington to get processed, and then they sent me to Plymouth to await my trial and shit like that. But I was out of there within like 2-3 months, and now I'm here.
What was Plymouth like? Did you were you in a 2-man cells?
Trash.
I was in Plymouth for 5 months. I know how it is. Yeah.
Trash. Horrible. Worse than Bristol County. Bristol County is bad. Bad. Those people are mistreating people in there. Especially the immigrant community in there. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that's listening, you need a personal testimony. You could come call Akilles, man. I got you. I'll give you a real good interview.
So what kind of things? They're just treating you like shit, like the way they talk to you, all of that degrading things,
healthcare, all that.
Yeah, they suck.
Yo, I got sick in there. I tested negative for COVID like 10 times. They had me in quarantine. And dude, I kept testing negative, and I keep saying, yo, this is something else. I could die. I was coughing to the
Right.
point where I was hacking blood, bro.
Wow.
I was starting to think I
That's
had like
fucked up.
tuberculosis or some shit. You
Damn.
understand what I'm saying? So I said, yo, check for that. Check for that. Like, it's not COVID.
Right.
This is during
But it's
COVID
something.
season. But it's fucking something. But it's something.
Damn.
This shit's gonna. Well, if I stay here, you guys keep treating me the way y'all treat. I'm gonna die in here. I'm not gonna see my mom. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're okay, sweetie. It's just treatment. Blah blah blah. What I thought is that they fucking poisoned my ass because I wouldn't give them
And
a
they
piss
feed you
test.
like shit there too.
Trash.
Everything's way expensive. The canteen.
Oh my
I know.
gosh, a meat steak
had
was like
issue.
$9.50.
What about your money? Did your money follow you right away? Because I got shipped
Nah,
out of Cambridge to Plymouth, and it took a long time, bro, to get
not
my
at
money.
all. Not at all. It took like 10 to 14 days. That's after I called. So I had been there about a week, and then I was like, yo, what's up? Like, this is the money I had in my books. And I need so it's cold as shit. They turn up the cold in there in the winter. Why you guys blowing ACs in the winter?
Right.
But they got you in those fucking dumbass green suits. It's just a shirt. It's mad. Yo, it was bad, man.
Yeah. Plymouth sucks. You didn't get to bring none of your property or anything, right?
Can't.
Nothing. What about legal work? They let you bring any of that stuff?
They let you bring the paperwork. Yeah, I always bring my paperwork with me, no matter where I go. But yeah, that's one of the things that they
there
let
for
you.
3 months,
and then they deport my ass. Yep.
how's that go? The morning of like deportation.
That was a process.
What do they do? They bring you to Logan, put you on a commercial flight.
Yeah, listen, that was hell in a cell, man. That it really was. Like, just the process of getting deported was exhausting. You go to various different states, picking up various fucking immigrants that getting deported too.
Cuffed the whole time? Cuffed and shackled?
Cuffed the whole time. Yo, the worst thing is riding in that plane cuffed. And then there was a time where you get out of the it's a clear zone where you're a free man, and the dude comes while you're in the air. The dude comes and starts uncuffing you. It's so inhumane, bro. Yeah, it's so inhumane. You know,
back to that embarrassment, humiliation rituals.
I seen the INS agent, one of the immigration dudes, one of the cop immigration dudes. Dude was getting up, fixing his belt. He's like, get down. He's like, yo, he didn't know how to speak English. He's like, yo, I'm fixing my belt. It's just kind of tight. Just give me a second. This dude came through and just speared him in the plane, bro. You know how mad I felt? Because that whole plane was Brazilian. Okay. That whole plane, because everyone was going to Brazil, like me. Y'all know how mad I wanted to fucking kill that dude on that plane, bro. Over a belt. That dude was like, he was traumatized, no bullshit, because he's not even a criminal. He just happened to get caught at the border or whatever. He's not like a street dude. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't do time in prison.
None of that. None of that. So he's in the back. He's crying like a bitch. But I feel him, nigga. You just got speared. You know what I'm saying? He's traumatized. The dude's sitting there and looked like the dude was coked out the whole time. The cop, he's always like the whole time, like jaw clenched like this. I was like, yeah, this dude's on drugs, bro. This dude's on drugs. But I gotta go to jail for it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. But
so you get you get to Brazil. Then what happens, man? They just let you out the airport right there, dude. You gotta go to like some sort of agency.
Nah. Now you're on your own, pal. You know what I'm saying?
And what happened? Did you have people? Did you have anything lined up?
Yeah. Nah, okay, I wouldn't say lined up. A little bit of a support system. I definitely had a support system. I wouldn't say lined up though. Like I had.
Okay.
When I had got off the airport, when I'm coming off the airport, my brother's wife picked me up, and I got a little acclimated. It was really a culture shock, man. It really was, bro.
Yeah.
Because it's really different out here, motherfuckers.
I mean, it's a culture shock anyway, getting out of prison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, never mind going over there. Like you said, you came over really young, man. So,
bro,
how fluent are you with the language?
Very fluent.
Okay, so that at least you have that.
I actually got a project coming out in Portuguese, in Brazilian.
Oh, that's fire. That's fire. I had this kid I know, Portuguese kid. He did tours in Portugal. Sandro G. and he was like real big out there.
No, I
In
don't know what that is.
Portugal, a long time. It was a while ago, but
Well, how
yeah,
old are you?
yeah. I'm 38.
38.
I'm 30, so I'm 38. Yeah, I got out of my state bid. I got a small state bid. It was 3 years. I ended up doing like 3.5 because I had probation time. I got out 2011. I did my whole state bid in Concord. Concord was classification when I got up there. Everybody that was classed out to other mediums pretty much got modified to stay. Then they started
Mm-hmm.
sending people down from the max and all that, and programs started open up. Since I was there, one of the first people there. Once the program started opening up, I was one of the first people in programs in college. So I stayed busy towards the end, but it was a while where there wasn't really nothing nothing going on there. And yeah, I wrapped that up in 2011. But like you said, like time, it's been 13 years now. I had to go back to county for 90 days in 2018 for some bullshit, but that was a
Man,
good reminder that's a good reminder that those places ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? They're not going anywhere. There's always a
no,
bed waiting for you if you want to mess up. So
that's right.
you know
That's
what I
right.
mean? So that's just that.
Mm-hmm.
So what were some of the things, man? You said you had all these notebooks, man. You was able to bring them with you on
You
the
want to see
plane
him?
onto Brazil? Yeah, sure.
You
Pull
want to
them
see
up.
him so you know I'm not lying?
I mean,
Hold on,
I'll take your word for it, but go ahead.
I'm gonna show it to you because it got shock value.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Look at
Wow.
that. Look
Wow.
at this. That's what 7 years of hard work look like.
That's just the power. It's just the power of writing things down too, man. You know, because these were all thoughts in your head at one point, and they
Yeah,
all on their paper and they
yeah,
rhyme. Man, there's so much power to
yeah,
that. I just started writing things down again myself, and
yeah.
just to look back,
Nobody's fucking with me, bro.
that's dope. That's dope. So talk to me
That's
a
just
little
how
bit
I
about what
feel.
you
That's just
talk to
how
me
I
about what
feel.
you got out for music since you've been out, man. How many projects did you drop? Videos, songs? What you got out there? How can people find your
I
music?
just had a random thought. I just had a sad. It's
Go ahead.
sad that the world may never even hear one song I got in this.
Right.
I have a hard time emotionally connecting to some of these songs because I'm not there no more. I'm
Mhm.
just not there. If you take Notebook 1, you go all the way to 11,
Mhm.
you see my growth.
Right.
You
Some
see
of
it. You
that
see
stuff you
it.
probably don't, like you said, that what you believed in, what was important back then.
Yeah, I just don't connect
That
with it no
status,
more.
that street sad. Yeah.
But just to answer your question, I came out with this little project called Duality, and
Okay.
definitely wouldn't call it my first album, but it was just a feeler. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Just to see what people reacted to the most. You know what I'm saying? That's still out. You can get that on Spotify and all that. I got multiple videos. I think in release right now, I must have about 26 things released, 26
Okay.
songs, and about had more videos. I took some old videos down because of quality purposes, because I got really good videos now, so I just keep those up. I
Gotcha.
must got like 6 or 7. I'm dropping What I Had to Give. I don't know if you know my man Truth, but he's featured on that with Millie's on the 25th. I got
Okay.
a video coming out February 24th, which is my first Brazilian video, which my first. I'm like doing a little acting in it. You know what I'm saying? I
Oh,
really, you
okay.
might not understand the language, but I think you're gonna understand I think you're gonna appreciate the art itself. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So with this Brazilian project I got coming out, I'm gonna accompany it with a short film. Right now, I'm trying to get some funds, some budget, just so I can do it right. I got a little bit of money, but I want to do it right. I want to do it right.
What's the
You know.
film gonna be about? Just like a
So
documentary style.
So this is what this project, the Brazilian project, in translation, is called Lucrando do Passado. Lucrando do
Mm,
Passado. That's gonna be the name of it, and it's called Monetizing Off My Past.
okay.
That's gonna be
That's
the
right.
name of the album. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm doing is I'm taking my stories, your story, and I'm telling them.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Mainly mine, but I took. I talk about some brothers situation and rhymes, like how shit gets real, like you can get life in prison. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
shit can get real for you. So I always mention life
Right.
experiences in that, but I just take my personal and try to do that. And because art imitates life, it's not the other way around. You understand? You got a problem if it's the other way around. So, I'm trying to really hone in on this image, man, that I'm building, this brand that I'm building, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my best to do that. I feel like I'm putting in the work. And after a while, you see this shit got no limit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You really, it got no limits, man. It really doesn't. You can really do whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
For
no,
real.
that's facts. And seeing people, work hard and get in the fruits of their labor, it's
Sure.
inspiring too.
For
It's
sure.
inspiring to see other people succeed. I don't know why people really are haters. I guess they just hate themselves. You know what I mean? But you should be inspired by other people's
I'm
success,
going through
especially if
that
it's
phase
somebody
now.
who's.
I'm
Are
going through
you?
that phase. Yeah, absolutely. You know, because you got people you grew up with that don't show love. They don't even. I got a clothing company, Hall of Fame Clothing, and
Okay.
these are the same people.
Yeah.
They don't buy a
I
$40
I
sweater
always
off
say
you
I get more love from
from
strangers than
strangers.
actual. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is if people feel embarrassed.
It's not.
You know
It's
what I
not. I
mean?
don't think it's
To flaunt
embarrassing. You know what it
I
is. You
don't.
know what it is. People. I don't know if it has to do with themselves or you.
That misery
Um,
loves company thing too, like you said in there.
it's a thing. It's a thing. But you know what? People don't want to be. They want to see you do good. They don't want to see you do better. But they also
Mm,
don't want to be the X factor in your success. They're afraid that
right.
if they involve themselves, they could be the reason where you get to a height where they want to go, but they can't. It's that
Hmm.
fear. It's that fear. So I'm just gonna watch from the side. I'm not gonna show no love. I'm not gonna come out of my pocket for a coin, even though I secretly admire this dude, even though
Right.
I secretly love this dude or this chick, whoever, whatever circumstance that you're dealing with. Right? Just say that, man. Right? Give me my
Well,
flowers while I'm here.
people are afraid to put themselves out there and be vulnerable to criticism. Maybe you know what I mean. And they see, they might see you doing it like, oh, I could have did that too, but
No,
they
you
might
couldn't have,
hide
because
it.
if you did, you would have. And that's
Right.
what I say to everybody. Listen, if you could do what I do, you be doing it.
Right.
So at the end
All
of the
right.
day, right, I think that if you're taking the time to work on your craft, like I said, I'm not arrogant, man.
Mm-hmm.
I put in the work. I just showed you some of it.
Right.
I
The
put in a
work is gonna
lot of hours.
speak for itself. You won't
Yeah,
even have to tell people about it. Like,
yeah,
here's a stack of undeniable proof. I've been really honing my craft,
yeah. And I'm
honing my
still
skills, and it all
practicing. And I'm
shows.
still practicing. I'm not even close to mastery yet. But I'm
Right.
gonna get that hit record. I'm gonna get that hit record. I'm gonna get multiple of them. And it didn't come from nowhere. It didn't come from nowhere. I really worked on my structure, my sound, my everything that has to do
Mm-hmm.
with this delivery. That's all that matters to me is my music. I don't care about
Is that music?
my past, you know what I'm saying? All the bullshit that comes with it, what you think about me, what the world thinks. It doesn't really matter to me. This is all that matters to me, because it's like it's spiritual to me.
Okay. Now, talk to me a little bit about how you chose the name Achilles.
That's my
Does that have
that's
to
my
do?
that's my government name.
That's okay. That's your government. So you were named after a warrior.
Yeah, yep. That my aunt named me
So you had
actually.
that's dope. Because that's like some sort of I like strong names like that because they almost become self fulfilling prophecies, right? You got the name Achilles, and you here standing now as a warrior of life. You know what I mean? You've been through a lot. You've
I'm
been through
definitely a
you've been
soldier.
through
I'm
yeah.
definitely a
So
soldier. I just got through a major car accident on New Year's Eve. I rolled
damn.
the car 6 times and I didn't get a fucking scratch on me. I'm so blessed. Woo! My
Yes,
man
man.
broke
It's
his
not
femur. My man
wow.
got ejected out the car, broke his femur, bro. The only one not using the seatbelt. Let me tell you
Seatbelt.
something,
Yep.
man. I don't play about mine. There's something out there that's way more powerful than I am that looks over me. I know that. I'm not saying that.
Hmm.
I know that. I know that.
Right.
I knew that from a young age, from all the bullshit and life or death experiences that I've had from this bid. You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying? From getting through, not getting the life sentence, being thankful, not one bullet was able to kill one of those
Mm.
people. You understand? I would have been spending the rest of my life in jail, bro. From the fortunes that I've got in my life, from the friends and family that I was able to establish, bro. a lot of people looking at
It
themselves like,
has to
oh,
be, yeah.
yeah, they're like, oh, my life sucks, dude. You don't have your eyes open. You don't know how blessed you are. You know what it is? You're not utilizing your resources. You're not tapping into your network. In fact, you need to figure out what you want first, because all the blessings come after that.
Well, that's the thing. People don't know what they want. They don't even know what they're aiming for. So how are you ever going to get it? When you have to have, you got to be clear, concise, intentional, and deliberate with what you're aiming for. Otherwise, how are you going to manifest?
And they get mad at you for it, though. They don't want to.
Exactly.
They don't want to buy a hoodie from Hall of Fame Clothing because you feel that you're going to get me richer and you poorer. See, you don't get you don't see the vision. You acting like this shit is about me.
And sometimes it takes things like having to do time or just having like me. Sometimes I think about like little silly problems I may have out here, and then I think about my little brother who's sitting right now on a second degree. He's been down 15 years just passed, and you know what I mean. It really puts my problems into perspective. You know these perceived problems that you think you have are not really issues.
It's not really problem. You're bigger than your problems. You're a billion times bigger than your problems. And let me tell you something. You don't need those sandbox dudes to help you get to where you're going. A lot of them dudes are stuck exactly where you left them.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
People, they like to, I don't know what it is. I tell people, man, if you would invest all this energy and time into complaining about your issues, into fixing them, you'd have no issues. People would rather sit there. They like the pity. I don't know what it is. They don't want to challenge themselves, anything like that. But
the thing with me is just like I don't know where you feel less powered by empowering someone else. I don't see that. I'm not from that cloth. When you put in the work and I see through your practice that you're excellent, I'm not the type of person to be like, well, I'm not gonna say nothing. Because if I say something, he's gonna think that I'm sucking his dick, and I can't have no other nigga. That's your mentality, bro. That doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's the reason you're mad at me because I'm a doer.
Ultimately,
am I gonna fail? A lot. I'm gonna fail a lot, but I failed doing it. You never failed. You can't even talk about a failure.
You can't hit the shot you don't take. You know what I mean? All you got to do is hit that one shot. But if you don't, I guarantee you may not promise. You know, I can't guarantee you'll make the shot, but I guarantee you won't make the shot if you don't take it. You won't make it. There's no way. It's impossible.
Yo, I was fucking. There's an old man. He started the whole Adidas thing in Boston, man. You know what I'm talking about? He used to hustle. Where did you say you did time? Concord?
Yeah.
Man.
Was he originally from
You
Boston?
Don't know OG? You don't know Tone, OG Tone, man. OG Tone. He started the whole Boston thing, the whole Adidas thing.
Tone Rome.
Tone.
I think so. I'm thinking of somebody.
His
with
name's
that
Antonio.
name.
I think it's Antonio Robinson. I think his name was.
Okay. I can't think of it right now.
I played a basketball game. I had just come off a game winner. I had just come off a game winner. It was a 4-point play, right? Undefeated team. So I came in the next game. People like, AK, you the X factor. Make sure you do your thing, blah, blah, blah. I missed every shot I took that game. I must have took about 13 shots. Right? And then Tone comes after me. After the game, he pulls up on me. He's like, yo, what's up, youngin? I'm like, yo, I don't want to hear your shit right now. No bullshit. You know what I mean? I already know what you're going to say. He's like, you don't know what I'm going to say. How do you know what I'm going to say? I said, yo, I had a bad game. He's like, you didn't have a bad game. I said, Tone, I missed every shot. I got 2 points, bro, and that's off of free throws. I missed every shot. He's like, yo, you played a great game.
Wow.
I'm looking at this dude. I'm like, why are you saying that? He's like, bro, every time you shot the ball up with so much confidence, people in the crowd would get up and wait for your shot to drop. Yeah, you missed. Right. You missed every shot. Yeah, you missed. But you took every single shot with so much confidence that you convinced the crowd it was going to go in. Everyone would be like, ooh. People would be like, oh. You know what I'm saying? Because they wanted you to make. I wanted you to make it, and you got to keep shooting. I came over here to tell you, keep fucking shooting. Don't stop shooting. You played a great game.
That's it. And that's life too. Keep shooting,
and that's
bro.
life. That's life. That's why I keep making songs. I keep trying all different types of styles. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows what's best for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But there's a book, dude, Ed Milet. It's like the power of one more, right? You're just always that one more song away from that break you wanted. You're one more interview. You're one more push up from those results you wanted. One more day, man. Just one more. The power of one more. And that just resonated with me. Like, so it's just profound. It's simple, but it's
you know what you just reminded me of? You ever read that only book that Bruce Lee wrote? You ever read that book? No. He said in that book, is a quote he said in that book. I really like it. He says, I'm not afraid of a man who knows 1,000 kicks. I'm afraid of a man who kicks the same kick 1,000 times. You understand what I'm saying? And I was like,
because that one kick is gonna be
he's gonna knock your fucking head off. He's gonna knock your head right off your head. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I like that, man. What's up? What's next? What's next for you, bro? What's like you trying to come back over here? Like, what's the process of that, bro? Like, talk to me about that. I mean, you don't have to get into that if you don't want
to. The thing is, I have like America owes me $42 million, so I'm gonna get my money. I want every dime. You understand what I'm saying? But to live there, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It's a lie. I can't.
So you're at peace. You're at peace with where you're at now.
I'm at peace where I'm at. Obviously, you deal with the conditions that comes with, but just the living quality here is rich. It's rich. Not to mention the women. Obviously,
it's a beautiful culture.
Beautiful culture, beautiful women. People speak to each other in this country. It's the little things. People speak to each other. You could go down the street and get an IOU.
Yeah. I mean, even just coming from going to Florida, same country, just the difference in that southern hospitality, like that's real. People being extra polite. But they're a lot more slower down there. Like we're so used to up here, like you go in line in the store, it's like let's go, move it down there. People having conversations and stuff, and it was like a test of my patience a little bit, but that just goes to show the different culture here alone. Never mind, you know, actually
there you go,
country, which I've never done, which
so
I plan to. So
me coming back to the States, man, I come back to sing, man. I come back to rap for y'all, do shows for y'all. Assuming the country lets me in, because you know there's an artist visa.
Okay.
But you know they have banned me for 7 years.
Gotcha.
That's not my main focus, but you know I wouldn't mind going out there to do some work, going out there to record with a few artists that really inspire me. You know, that's
so. Who are some of those artists that inspired you?
In general, like growing up.
Yeah, in general, whatever.
Man, that's a solid list, man. That's, I stole a little bit from everybody, you know. But start like back
different eras too, man. You know
exactly. So like if I go through the eras, man, you know, I gotta throw the Park in there. You know, Jay, Biggie. You know, that's the '90s and stuff. Those are the guys that really Big L.
Right. Big L. Yeah.
But then you get to the 2000s, man. You know, 50 and Eminem.
G-Unit, yeah.
Yeah, not so much M, but definitely 50. Definitely put a mark on my life. You know what I'm saying? And then you get to
I still follow 50 now because of that.
Yeah, I mean, I follow
even
50,
with the shows when they first. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 50's just a brilliant guy. He just fuck the music.
And that's like how you said, bro. Like, bro got shot 9 times. Like what he's doing now. That's why, like, having this belief of a divine spirit or a power greater than yourself, it has to be sometimes. Like, what other explanation is there for some of the things?
I'm a 5%er. I'm a 5%. We say the black man is God, but you have to understand that that's the essence of who you are as a man. You understand what I'm saying? And in this matrix, right, in this concept of what we call reality, there's limitations. Right. This meat suit can only do so much, bro. You understand? So, well, if you're God, they say, oh, you're a 5%er, so you're God. Okay, then jump off this building.
Right. Yeah.
Even Jesus was
Yeah. Those are
subjected
low
to the
level.
gravities of law.
Those are
You
low
know what I'm saying?
level mind
Yeah,
thing, low level mindset people.
you're a piss poor thinker, bro. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
don't even speak to people like that. But
No doubt.
yeah, man. But like guys that definitely define my sound that's still relative to who I want to work with is definitely like J. Cole, Drake. I would definitely wouldn't mind doing something with him.
Okay.
Young Thug, Rich
Free
Homie
Young Thug,
Quan.
bro. Yep.
You know what I'm
Okay. Yep.
saying? Yeah, definitely Free YSL, man. That guy, he got locked up for trying to help people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You guys keep looking at the negative things. You're not looking at everything that he did. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. It's sad. The court don't look at shit like that.
Right.
But
Oh yeah, the courts especially. Yep. And just people in general. Negative people are
in
always going to
general.
gravitate towards to the negative things, and positive
Yeah.
people are going to try to find that, that shimmer of hope, that silver lining in the dark cloud, so to speak.
Absolutely. And I hope he pulls through that case, because if Tekashi 6ix9ine gets to do it, how come Young Thug does it, right?
Right. Yep. Because he didn't. Yeah. Because he told Tekashi. I mean, we all know why. It's a system that caters to snitches.
Yeah, that was a joke. Yeah, that was a joke, man.
Right now, I'm doing podcasts. That dude murdered because they wanted to get John Gotti so bad. Yeah. He has more murders than anybody.
Right. That's the reason.
The justice system doesn't have values or morals or anything of the sort. It's just.
And that's what you kids. That's what you kids need to understand in the street. Like you will get told on.
It's just like it's a losing battle. It's not about if, it's when. It's when and how are you going to lose? Are you going to lose to the point where you can't recover? Are you doing life or you're dead? Or are you going to lose?
Yeah.
Like me, I lost a little bit.
You know what I mean? You're not special out here, bro. You're not.
Streets is undefeated, bro.
Yeah, bro. System. Like people do get scared of you. People will call the cops on you. You understand what I'm saying? You get to a point where you're selling drugs, you sell it to the wrong fiend or whatever the case may be. That dude puts drugs in front of his own fucking kids, bro. You don't think he's gonna sell you out? You don't think he's gonna sell you?
By a dude who was a delivery driver at the sub. He knew me since I was a kid. And he told on me because he had probation and he,
That's what I'm saying. My main man, one of my main mans told on me. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, bro. You feel me? I'm not holding no punches. That's just the reality of it. It's one thing, man, if you out here and you caught up in a mess with your bro and he got something going on and you take the charge for something. You be like, nah, I got this, bro. You got shit going on, right? But at the end of the day, you have to understand that the reality of it, most people ain't gonna do that. Most people
and far between. A lot of people, it's all about self-preservation.
Exactly.
And integrity and morals go out the window when they're facing
exactly.
a large prison or whatever.
Yeah, I've always held firm in that. Like even like I said, like we got this 11th degree, and the degree it says, have you not heard that your word shall be bond regardless of whom or what? And the answer is yes. My word is my bond, and my bond is my life, and I will give my life before my word shall fail. That's the lesson. That's the 11th degree in the 1 through 14. So I've been living that lessons before a 5%. That was part of my DNA. My word has always been my bond. If you're my man's, bro, right, and I got into some shit, bro, it's my fault. You know what I mean? That's why that shit crushed me, man. I've been in multiple situations where people thought I was less of the person that I actually was, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I would never, ever let you pay for a punishment that I did. I did this crime, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And for you to...
It's deeper than just like a street code. It's like code of man. Like,
it's man.
You reap what you sow, man.
Yeah, like I asked you.
Every action is a reaction. Like,
yeah,
man. You gotta be ready to what comes with it. We make the best decisions we can in the moment, knowing what we know. Most of the times, looking back, it was the wrong one. But like a lot of times, you choose in between to a lose. Which is less evil.
My thing is like I just feel like, especially in that certain situation, have you given me that one thin sliver of loyalty, you would have had a soldier for life, bro.
Right. And people don't even recognize that.
For life. All I ask, nigga, is you just 90 days. I would have took 90 days of your time.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
So
and it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, he wasn't even connected to my shit. You feel me? So it is what it is. I still got love for him. You know what I mean?
That's
I wish
what I
him the
always
best.
say, man. I always say,
I mean?
like, it
I hope
is
he's
what it
doing
is.
okay.
What's next is what you make it, and that's what
Yeah, man.
what that's about, bro. So, yo, we touched on a lot of things, bro. Before I let you go, man, this is your platform. If you want anything that you wanted to talk about that maybe we didn't get into, if you got any advice, maybe somebody just coming home, similar situation, maybe just
I mean, I just appreciate
anything
you
you're
having
trying.
me,
I mean,
man. I appreciate you
I
having me.
appreciate you
You
coming
know,
through.
getting to know me a little bit, just giving me the exposure just to tell my story a little bit, because I feel
Absolutely,
like
bro.
a lot of people go through what I go through. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of guys that got deported feel defeated.
Yeah.
Feel defeated. You feel like the you know, because you grew up in the US, because all your roots are in the US, like you got no way. You got a way, bro. Trust me. And it's all up here. It's all up here. Because me, in the last 2 years, I say right now, I'm in the toughest situation I'm in right now. But on the outside, it looks like I'm doing very good.
Right.
You understand? But right now, I'm just letting you know. You're
That's
gonna go
strength
through this.
right there to be positive
I
during those
love
tough
this
times.
shit. This shit gives me a hard on, bro. I love when shit
Mm-hmm.
gets hard, because I'm like, yeah, another test.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I am who I really say I am.
Right.
When I pray to God, when I'm doing my prayers, I just ask. I say, yo, just constantly give me tests so I can really prove to myself that I am who I say I am.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah,
And then sometimes
make
you
it
get
through the other
mad.
side. Yeah, right.
Sometimes you get mad. Some shit happen in your life. Like, damn, some other shit. Well, isn't this what you asked for?
Right. No, that's life, bro. That's true. Like sometimes people will look at your life and be like, "Damn, why?" You know, it's just, man, the toughest battle. You know, just go to the strongest soldiers, and I really
That's right. That's
believe in
right.
that,
That's
bro. And we
right.
here to
And
tell it.
hey, we're here to tell it. That's right. We're here to win and tell it, man. Make sure you put all my links when you do the editing on this video on that.
Yeah, all the links are good. So just for y'all know, all the links will be in the description. You can click on the links, and I'm definitely gonna make sure
for sure.
it's linked for
I
that.
appreciate you having me, Luke, man. And
I appreciate you
definitely
taking the
be
time
happy to
coming
come
on,
back,
bro.
man. And
Yeah,
hopefully
definitely.
one day we could do it in person. You know what I'm saying, bro? Hopefully
Absolutely.
this
God
music
willing,
opens these borders, these US borders for me. And we'll go over there.
Yeah.
I'll go over there and we'll do this thing the right way. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds perfect. That sounds beautiful. It sounds like something coming full circle. You know what I mean? That would be like a beautiful thing for sure, bro. So, and man, once again, thank you for coming through, guys. Thanks for tuning in. It is what it is. What's next is what you make it. I'm your boy B Luke. That's Akilles. This is the bounce back. Like I said, links in the description. Make sure you follow, like, comment, subscribe. Until the next time, stay safe. I'm out, y'all.
Peace.
I appreciate you, bro.
Ain't got a moment when they see you down, there's no they love it, no.